Okay, we're live. Hello, good morning. How's it going, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Hey,
Good
Josh G,
morning.
what's up over on the kick? Hell yeah. Love it. 68 followers on Kick now, man. Slowly building that one. Rumble has 207 followers. Um,
Good morning. Picked up a Nintendo Switch.
okay. Like, is that a gaming console? How's it going, man? Um, I've got kafef, I've got grapes, I've got some sour grapes. They're pretty damn good, actually. They're kind of sweet and sour grapes. Wow, Kick says I have 0 viewers, but Josh G was there. Okay, now it says I have 10 viewers.
You still got your oranges in cups, or have they been transplanted by now? Slipped my mind.
No, I got them. They're in cups. I planted some outside, but the ones I planted outside aren't doing that great. So I might plant some more if they fail. I got some water on them, and the sun came out while the water was on them and bleached the leaves, killed the baby leaves on one of them. Another one lost one leaf. The other two seem to have all 3 leaves, and they're okay. They're getting bigger. But 2 out of 4, not that great. Um, so, let's go ahead and you guys want to start? You guys want to start the morning off correctly? I'm thinking with a big bong rip, maybe, right here. Um, you would not believe what I've done this morning, what I got done already. I woke up early. We had a huge storm. The backyard's a mess. There's branches. It usually looks like a golf course back there. There's pine needles and pieces of tree, branches.
I'm dealing with a
pine
hog
cones
right
all
now.
over the yard, and it
He's
looks like a
eaten
mess.
all my cucumbers and tomato plants up, forcing me to fence it off the little ER.
Yeah, you gotta fence them. You gotta fence down into the ground. You've gotta. It's a whole thing to get rid of those guys. Big pain in the ass, man. Moles are a bitch. Groundhogs, moles. Dude.
Cause I don't want to hurt the cute
I
little
know,
son
right?
of a bitch.
I know, little bastards. I know, man. Little varmints. I love them. I love all little animals. You know, I don't want to hurt them. But man, I got to tell you, I don't mind seeing these hawks come over here and pull the moles out of the ground and eat them, which they do every day. Wait, why am I got my oil out. Why did I get my oil out? I said I was going to do a bong rip, right? OG Kush. No, I said I was going to switch up to Gorilla Glue today. Glucive. We're going with the Glucive today. People aren't just as interested in smoking cannabis as they used to be, man. You know, cannabis used to be like a big mystery to everybody, and people wanted to tune into the show to see what it was all about, you know. And there's a guy actually using cannabis on YouTube, and boy, that's got some marketability to it. And today it's like,
thought about sending a few warning shots around him, but then I won't see him at all. Oh well, guess I may keep his ass fed.
you need Bill Murray, man. He knows how to deal with golfers. That is a golfer. Okay, so, anyhow, we'll see if this hits. All right. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, everybody. Yeah. My goodness. There goes Harmony 1, 1300. Boom. Harmony 1 is up 6%, 6.5%. So this was the one I told you guys to watch. This was the one I told you I invested in heavily. When this goes up to 2 cents, 3 cents, I'm going to be making some big money on it. It's at a penny and a third right now. Let's bring the market up. Here we go. What's my embed code here?
Days. Good morning, Nate. What's up?
Hey, Dabs for Days. What's up, buddy? We'll see if we can pull some people in the Rumble, which would be nice. We got them over on Kick, which is great. While you guys are on Kick and Rumble, please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave me a thumbs up if you appreciate the lack of content. I mean, I offer my presence, my smoking, and my vivacious personality. That's all I got. That's all I got left.
Days. Terrible morning. Didn't realize I was out of coffee. No good. Oh, I like that word. I don't think I've heard that.
Vivacious? Is that what I said? I can't remember what I said. I don't remember words. I don't know how to talks. You guys like the title? I just read it and I laughed. So nice to see that your addiction's been cured. That's a good thing.
Does your power go out in those big rainstorms ever?
Yes, it does, man. It gets like a flood, and yeah, the power cuts out. We've got a generator. So we were...
Days. Every damn time it rains a substantial rain here in Northeast PA, the power goes out.
We were live the other day, and lightning struck, and it took out the goddamn power, and our generator clicked on, but it wasn't enough to save the show. The show went down because the power went out momentarily. We go out for like 15 seconds, and then the power comes back on. So if I'm broadcasting, chances are I can lose the show. Because the modem goes off, the router goes off. That's the problem. So...
Days. Tens of thousands of dead ash trees that fall on the lines the second they get wet. Sometimes it takes up to 2 days to get back.
Wow. I don't understand why they don't bury the cables.
The whole power ID and infrastructure here in America is so dated. It's Josh G. Still using above-ground wires like it's 1800s. Dabs 4 days. Yet I don't either. PA is ass backwards but taxes the crap out of you. Days. I'm sitting in my car charging my things, that's why I'm complaining a bit, my bad, haha.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go get some gas in my car, and then I have to go to the pharmacy. I thought I'd run into Winn-Dixie. Anything you need? You have enough milk, and you have enough
Creamer? Thanks.
I'll see you later.
All right. I get all freaked out when my mom talks to me after I do a big dab or a bong rip.
Days. It's like walking through the living room baked the first time, haha. It's Josh G. Flashbacks from the young days, I assume, ha ha ha. Happens to me.
I don't know. It's just... I'm afraid she's going to say something that I'm going to regret. Every time she says something to me, you know. That's the feeling I have. I'm like, what is she going to say, man? What is she going to say?
Emote 538962.
I wonder which emote that was. It's the happy face. I see it. That's funny how some emotes don't come up and other ones do. What's that all about? You know, I've got questions that need answering today. Watching Tim Pool have a conversation with Emma Vigilant was so weird. I just saw a little bit of it.
Days.
Holy shit.
Your custom emotes won't show.
You know, he is so in denial of his republicanism. And I have a feeling that Emma Vigilant, as much as I cannot stomach her, she's probably pretty good at calling him out on all of his bullshit. I saw her calling him out on some of his bullshit. And that was all I saw. It was just like a 1 minute clip. But I am kind of curious to see if she just stepped on his dick the whole interview. Because I have a feeling she did. He has a way of dismissing things. He lives in a constant state of denial. So that would allow him to sit there and have a whole interview with her while she's destroying him. And to just keep going and act like everything's fine. Because that's what he does. Man, I kind of want to watch it. Had anybody seen the whole Pool Vigilant interview?
Good morning.
And was it a good watch? Dude, I don't understand why I cannot type on this clacky keyboard, bro. I'm always typoing. It drives me crazy. Hey, Nick, what's up, buddy? I think we should do bong rip and watch that Tim Pool, fucking Emma Vigilant. Two people who I cannot stand interview each other. We should probably watch that. Right?
Post Waters. Morning trendy.
Tim Pool.
It's Josh G. Sounds like a mechanical keyboard which have very tactile key presses for enhanced reaction time in game.
Yeah.
My roommates types letters without even fully pressing the key.
Huh, maybe I'm pressing too hard, bro. Why you pressing? Why you pressing? Pressy Pressersons.
First thing I want to say is thank you to Jack Posobiec and Seamus Coughlin for guest hosting Timcast IRL while I was out. I wasn't not, in fact, dead. I just lost my voice, and that really sucked. I think on Sunday I was kind of sick, and it sucked, so I just hung out and was playing video games all day.
My apologies
Monday,
that you have to look
like this, and that.
My apologies that you have to look at the most poorly drawn South Park character in existence. That's part of what we have to deal with right now.
And I figured I'd be fine by Tuesday, and then come Wednesday morning when I still couldn't talk,
It's Josh
we
G.
were like, we need to call in the big guns, so we
LMFAO.
reached out to some people to see if they would guest host for us. And
No
we got
law
some
regarding
people. We got,
cannabis.
Jack and Seamus.
Fuck
So
that guy.
Thank you all for that. This is the first
It's
The
Josh
Culture
G.
War podcast we're doing
Fuck
live.
the woman he's about to
as
interview.
we're,
Fuck them both.
now getting into
No law
the-
regarding cannabis.
the
Cheers.
purpose for what this show is. When we do shows on Timcast IRL at 8 or so p.m., we'll often have people come in who are either disagree with us on certain issues, and or
Treasure
that's
Coast
primarily
Waters.
when they do, the show
LOL,
transforms
cheers.
from topical news into political and cultural debate. And so we decided we need to make a specific show that just handles those conversations and expands upon them so that we can actually get to the core of what people think, feel, why they want certain policies and why they don't. And a topical news show doesn't really work for that. So Friday mornings, here's what we're going to do. And we were posting this at 1 p.m. Before, but now we'll probably end up doing it live just because. So without further ado, without wasting any of your time, we've got two awesome guests. Sean, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Oh, I'm Sean Fitzgerald. I do YouTube at The Actual Justice Warrior. I cover primarily criminal justice related issues, and I'm happy to be here for your maiden live voyage of the
Absolutely.
Culture War.
And Emma, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Emma Vigeland. I'm the co-host of the Majority Report. Thanks so much, Tim, for having me on. I know that it was a little dicey with you and Sam in terms of him coming on But I'm happy. I'm happy that you had me on. Honestly.
Absolutely, I'm glad you came.
Yeah,
You know.
and it's. I just want to clear this up because I know that you didn't want to have Sam on because you called him a grifter, right?
Yeah.
And part of the reason that you called him that is because you said that we put your song through a filter on our show, and I just want you to know, I was hosting that day. We don't have the technology to do that, so I did not do that. So there you go,
Yeah, it was
clearing
like
that up for you.
the song. So that specific issue was the song we put out, played on your show, had like the mids ripped out of it.
We don't have the technological ability to do that. We're just a bunch of leftists with like a soundboard. I promise
But the-
you, nothing was intentional.
You don't
on
have
that front.
Audacity? It's free.
Well, no, the issue here is
I
likely
don't really
that
know. I don't know anything about.
if you
audio
don't
tech.
if you don't have proper ingestion, then like the audio is going through a TV or something, it's going to sound really bad.
Right.
So if we were to like play music on the TV and then put the mics up to it, everything would be ripped out from it. And then if we were to say, listen how bad this sounds, it's misleading the average person
Right,
into thinking
well,
that
yeah.
that's what the song sounds like when it
But
doesn't.
but I played that, and look, I mean, we're here to have a great discussion. I think, but it's interesting that even though I played it, that was your justification for calling Sam a grifter.
Oh, it's not though. The issue with
Okay.
Sam was that I put out a tweet where I said we try to invite people on the left all the time. They always say no. And then Sam tweeted challenge
Treasure
accepted or something to that
Coast
effect,
Waters.
like I'll
Mm-hmm.
come on.
These
And I was
people
like, oh, this is
actually
great
existed
because
in
Sam was
pre-Gabby.
actually the first person to ever shout me out ever in my career.
Yeah.
Praising me. And so I said, we will cover travel and accommodation. We'll fly you out. We'll take care of everything. Let me
Wow.
know what day works for you. And he said something like the 13th. And I was like, this is fantastic. And then he DM'd me and was like, I'm not coming on your show. And I was
Yeah,
like,
it was because of COVID restrictions. I've seen the DMs. I told him he
Yeah,
should put it
sure.
on. I've told him he should put it on Twitter, but he's too good of a guy. I mean, maybe
well, no,
he
I
will,
published
just to
all the
clarify.
DMs.
He's
Yeah.
too good
Because
of a
then
guy.
what he did was, he then, it's mostly water under the bridge, but he made some comment about me backing out or something. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, and then I messaged him. I was like, are you kidding, dude? Like, we're going to pay for everything. And then he was just like, no, I'm not doing it. Are you
Well,
crazy?
then just do it. Like, I mean, I'm sure he'd be down to come down soon.
The weirdest feeling that I've already seen this entire interview, and I know that I haven't, it's almost like a deja vu thing. I watched a clip of it on Twitter like a day ago, right? Where, he's made a comment and she called him out on his bullshit, and that was it. But goddamn, I feel like I've heard every fucking word that is about to be said for the next, however many hours. I don't know why. It's a weird feeling.
You guys could.
How do you guys
actually
feel
have
the
about
that.
issue
that?
has
You think-
expanded
You guys kind of get that?
more than that.
Like,
I mean,
it's
so
just
at the same time,
repetitious,
there was
maybe?
Hassan Piker,
And we've already
who
heard
also
all this
responded to my tweet. And he said, I'd love to
over
come.
and over.
I
It's
said,
just
when can you come?
different
And he said,
people
"Let's
or
figure out a
the
date."
same
And so I DM'd
situation.
him, and he said, I got to be honest, I'm actually concerned about COVID. And I said,
Talking about
totally get
COVID.
it. No worries, man. Thanks for reaching out. And
Right.
that was the end of it. Sam, however, used it on like a video and then started tweeting about it because it was drumming up a whole bunch of clicks and views. And I'm like, okay, dude, I get it. Interacting with this guy is just going to create drama that he uses to get clicks. I mean, the dude's got like 170 videos about Dave Rubin.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
cover that. I mean, I think
Cover.
part of what we do
Steven
is
Running.
we try to
Yes.
respond to some of
Dude.
the right wing ecosystem on the internet.
her eyes go like this. The muscles of her eyes go like that just a little bit. She squints a little bit when she's triggered. So watch for that. I just noticed that. That's interesting. You're going to see that more, I have a feeling.
Because there's a vacuum truly left. You guys have a lot more money than the left wing media space.
I could play
We
poker
tried
with
to
her.
combine a little
I'd
bit.
clean her
Treasure
out.
Coast
I think the issue with that,
I'll
I can
clean
understand
her
why you'd
out.
say that,
It's
but it looks
Josh
like
G.
this is a great way to kick
Not
off the
sure
show,
how
actually,
I
like the
feel
start of the
right
culture
yet.
war.
Fun how they can talk
I actually
calm and
don't
fair
think
and not like
the-
each other, but it's very
whatever this
early.
space has more
Yeah,
money
well, I gotta
because
tell
this is
ya.
a fractured independent space of varying ideology.
He just talked total shit about her boss. I don't know what her feelings are for Sam, if they have a relationship, if they've ever been together, or what their little thing is. But he just totally smeared Sam right to her face
Coast Waters.
in his house.
Tyler Ausbro cheers Sparkin.
And she's like, she has to behave. This is really fun. I'm enjoying this so far.
Ideologies.
Tim, I'm in your compound right now.
Yeah,
Oh!
I'm rich. What does
I
that,
live
what
in
does
a
that
one
mean?
bedroom. I mean, how did
Bro, how funny is that I just said that and then she literally said the words that I just said. She's in his house. I'm in your compound right now. That is so fucking funny.
you get rich?
I started a website, took memberships, sold ads on videos.
Yeah, but the reason that you
Dude.
get ads and that we don't is because you more adequately serve capitalism, and we
You know,
challenge.
when I told you I felt like I'd already seen this before, I wasn't kidding, man. Isn't that hilarious? Fucking crazy.
it.
We get our ads pulled. What do you mean? There's whole organizations dedicated to getting all of our ads removed.
Right, but the proof is in the pudding and where I'm sitting right now.
So this is memberships. This
Okay.
is almost entirely because people pay to become members of our websites. You know, if the
Okay,
majority
so-
report,
I believe her comment was he's in a really nice studio. I believe that's what that was.
you guys have been around a lot longer than I have.
Mm-hmm.
The inability to provide a product to a customer does not mean that one political faction has more or is granted more because of capitalism or anything like that. Like if Sam is unable to, I mean, Sam's had way more subscribers than me
John
for a
Combs.
long time.
Right,
Good
right.
morning,
And he's
Nate.
been,
Good
and he
morning,
just
all.
like
It's Josh.
and I'm not saying this to be
She
like
just
mean.
a
I'm
little
saying
jealous.
if he doesn't know how to turn revenue, the issue is more so you need like a COO or somebody who's going to say, here's how we provide something to a market that generates revenue so we can expand our business. So we're better at that here, I suppose, is the easy way to put
Well,
it.
no, because what you say here is more attractive to investors and advertisers. I mean, we're basically
no
only
investors.
members, and okay, well, other right-wing media like the Daily Wire and stuff like that, and even what I'm looking at a Rumble, what I don't know, what do you call that?
don't you-
logo right there.
Looks like a rectangle.
Yeah,
I
mean,
thought she
that's-
was looking at Rumble Chat. I was like, oh, don't do that. Don't look at Rumble Chat.
that's a David Sachs. That's a venture capital-backed venture, I believe.
Yeah, and it's
at the
also-
very least Peter Thiel is
It's
involved.
also a social media platform, Emma, that allows free speech. You should look into that. You know, you should look into that.
and invested.
Wait.
There's no equivalent on the left.
Why wouldn't
Absolutely
you be able
not.
to get advertisers if like David Pakman and the Young Turks have advertisers? Your content's not like
She's
We do
just a
have
little jealous.
advertisers. We just have,
Oh, yeah.
advertisers that are a little bit more within our system of values, and we're trying to combat corporate greed. We don't have a ton of advertisers that I think align with leftist, or we have advertisers that we try to include in terms of like leftist values as well. But just by the nature of left versus right, it's asymmetrical warfare.
But you guys are
but
pa-
honestly,
you
Sam
just
should
said
just
you're-
put
But
the
you're
put those
passing
DMs
on
out there.
advertisers that don't align with your values. So
Yeah.
like you have
But we do the
those
same
options.
thing. We do literally say we have like 4 advertisers. We have
Right.
like 4.
Right. Okay.
So our website has no advertisers, and it's almost entirely membership funded.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look,
everything here is because people give us $10 a month.
we're really trying to cover politics.
I really don't understand what the importance is of discussing the topic that they're discussing right now. Who cares? Isn't that crazy? I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
Program, and I think that that's what is like our central focus. I mean,
Why
you
make
talk
a video
about
about me and music?
Well, I mean, it was a little fun because it was kind of funny. But I mean, Sam comes from a comedy background as well. I would say that I think you misrepresent what our show actually does. The first hour, the free hour of our program before we go to the membership portion, is one that we
Membership.
literally have experts on Social Security, on
Membership,
Coast
it used to
Waters.
be called the fucking
Unreal
fun, the fun half.
Josh G.
They call it the
She's
membership
coming
half
for
now. That's so
capitalism, I
funny.
guess.
Fuck them. See, she's like, we're trying to get out of the whole corporate. Da da da. No, you're a sellout, and you're selling out your audience, and you sold out your show. You sold out your format so you could make more money. It's hilarious. The fun half used to be a thing on Sam Cedar. They had this little cartoon song, this little thing. It was cute. I used to look forward to it. Oh, it's the fun half. Cool, man. I like this part. You know, then another hour of fun shit for everybody. Oh, now it's the goddamn membership. Did you hear her? I want to hear her say it again. I want to hear the words.
the free hour of our program before we go to the membership portion is one that we literally have experts on Social Security, on international politics.
Her
It's
voice
not,
is quivering
honestly,
now.
Something
She
that's
realizes
conducive
she's a sellout.
to- it's dry. It's not conducive necessarily to a ton of capital investment in their advertisers. And we're
So
trying to make a
have-
difference in the world.
We don't have investment or
Sure.
we have like 4 advertisers. Actually, we have 0 advertisers. We got rid of them all. So
Okay.
we ended all of our advertisers.
Wow.
To be fair, on the podcast version of things, I think we have like 6. On the YouTube side
Move
of things,
on,
we've actually
folks.
gotten rid of all advertisements.
Move
so
on.
now it's just like whatever YouTube
Move on
does,
to a
they do.
topic.
Right.
And then we're starting our own companies. The reason we started our
With
own
some
coffee company,
relevance.
it's because I'm not going to say the name of this person, but there are organizations that lie in order to get our ads pulled, and so that's happened to us. One example is that there's well, I don't get into too much of it, but there's a group that has argued that I have claimed that Donald Trump won in 2020, and they've used that to raise tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
I never said Donald Trump won in 2020. In fact, since Joe Biden got inaugurated, I said Trump lost, and these people need to accept it.
Right. Well, you said there might be a race war. There was that.
When did I say that?
I'm not sure, but you also said that
I don't think that's a true thing, actually.
the 10-year-old who got an abortion, who was raped, you called that a hoax. Have you retracted that statement?
So there's very deep context to that. What we're talking about when I
That's
say
been
hoax.
proven. I mean,
Right, but
charged.
so-
The rapist has been charged,
Right,
and
right.
the doctor who provided the abortion fined.
So this is a
in
really good
Minneapolis.
example of the problem in the culture war, I would say. See, you don't know what I actually said, because I didn't say what you're
Treasure
describing.
You did. I just watched it last night.
Right, and so what I said
Smoking
was
birthday
the fact
cake.
I'm
that
smoking
they
with you,
politicized this
TC Dub.
to
Cheers.
win a political
Cheers,
point
everybody.
is the
It's
hoax,
Josh G.
not that the child was abused.
How does that constitute a hoax, Tim?
Cheers, everybody.
So, like, let's say there's what's a good example of this? Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud Arbery is a really great example, right? So here's
No, I'm talking about this example though. The
Right,
one that
so-
I just brought up.
So, right, if I can't explain to you that manipulating a story for political gain is the hoax, then I don't know.
What's
what
the
else.
manipulation?
Oh man, this is an old story. I have to pull it up. I think the issue was that they were able to actually get the treatment in state, but because of the law, they decided to seek it elsewhere. And I said that is a hoax. I didn't say that it was a hoax that the girl was
Stephen
abused. I
Wright.
said if
Cheers.
they could have sought treatment in state under the exemption. I think it was Ohio, right? There was an exemption
Yes.
saying in the cases of abuse, the treatments are permitted. But they decided to make a public statement and leave the state anyway. I said that is a hoax.
It was not a public statement.
but that's my
No,
point.
no, rape and incest exemptions are non-actionable. This is like well documented with abortion activists. How long do you think it takes to prove a rape or incest case before you're able to use that carve out
Well,
to
I don't-
actually get an
Well,
abortion?
doesn't it depend on how the law is written? Do you have to prove it, or does it have to be alleged?
I mean, first
So
of all,
let me
rape
just
is,
answer
rape
that
is one
point
of the
real quick so we can clarify the thing on.
Sure.
I never said it was a hoax that the girl was abused. That is
Okay,
incorrect.
but honestly, this is a part and parcel of what you do. Is you put that kind of statement out there, and then you put caveats in to protect yourself.
Like,
but
me
that,
saying that someone manipulating a story for political gain is a hoax.
it's not a manipulation. That is the kind of thing that's going to continue to happen as abortion restrictions happen throughout the country.
It's an
There's a
opinion.
particularly egregious example
Williams.
used to shine light
Hey,
on
Meg.
broader restrictions on abortion in this
Hey,
country.
Megsy.
I mean, it's an opinion, but you haven't retracted
Yes.
it. It's false.
It's not false. If there is a story and the story is exaggerated or manipulated in an effort to sway people into believing one political faction over the other, you are engaging in a hoax.
I mean, isn't that what you guys do when you post like extreme videos of crime and things like
We
that?
don't do that. What are you talking about?
I mean, you respond to videos that are taken completely out of context, isolated
what?
instances.
I don't think you watch the show because that doesn't.
I mean, I do a little bit.
No, you don't. Because
Yeah,
we
I
don't
do.
that.
Yeah, yes, you do.
well, that's not true because we don't do that. In fact, one of the points we make specifically is,
You show
especially
subway crime to talk about all of these inflated
so-
crime numbers.
and-
Crime
and-
is down in New York City in
and-
2023,
and
by every
down,
metric.
down compared to what?
Do you guys get the impression that the school teacher is talking down to the young student? And that is the dynamic here. Is anybody else seeing that? Tim Pool's looking down, away from her, and he's just totally being shamed by her. It's just so fucking hilarious.
2021 and
But don't change
2022.
don't
when
change the
it-
subject.
No,
Greg.
no, I'm
You
not.
used us a pub-
Relentlessly lobbing accusations at him, and she's got like a boatload of them, and she's nonstop throwing them at him. And it's just, she's got it all memorized, bro. It's all in her brain. She's got like a photographic memory or something.
publish.
If it's down in 20 compared to 2021, and there was a giant year-over-year increase from 2020 to 2021, then you're talking about something
It
that's
wasn't
down.
giant. It was a small bump from the
A
pandemic.
47% increase in homicide
a
in the city of
small-
New York is not a small bump.
It was homicides have been on a precipitous decline since the 70s, since the 80s,
Okay.
since the 90s. There was a bump because of desperation in the pandemic,
There's-
and now it's back down in 2023.
So, like-
That's irrefutable. That's the NYPD's own data. That's on all major crimes: murders, rapes, grand larcenies,
So this
robberies.
is this is an argument I'm often confronted with. And
So
it's actually
according
pretty
to Emma
terrible.
right
So
now-
crime is down.
Crime's down under Joe Biden, under the Joe Biden administration. That's the point that Emma is making. She's claiming that Tim Pool is misrepresenting those facts. This should be really interesting.
For sure, right? In some years in New York City, we had 2,100 murders. I think that's the largest ever in the history of the city of
She's
New York.
calling him a
However,
liar.
my standard isn't. It's not as bad as the worst time in the history of the city of New York. When I see murders jump year over year from about 319 to 469.
What do you mean year
that's
over year?
a
The 2 years that I just
year
listed?
over year, as in from 2020 to 2021. That would be a year over year
yes.
increase. That is a dramatic increase, and it's the largest since, I believe, 2010, the greatest year-over-year increase of all time in the city of New York, by the way. But it's all
But
the way
it's
back to
down
2010
again.
numbers.
It's down
Yeah,
again.
it's down
This is-
compared to the increase, but it's not down compared to 2019.
This was a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic where people's desperation and their mental health was severely harmed. People were out of work, and
Okay.
that kind of desperation leads to more crime. That's the reality of how
I love
crime
how
works.
she's so matter of
Poverty
fact.
leads to crime.
This
I would
is-
imagine
this is
that.
So let me-
inaccurate.
why do you think 25 people got shoved in front of trains last year?
I don't know, dude.
Well,
I love how
you're saying
that's the
that,
second
you're
time
saying
she's called
poverty
him
and desperation
dude.
results in crime.
I
I'm
love
wondering why it is
that.
that you've had these homeless guys.
She is
who've been predominantly-
completely
I think almost
shaming
entirely
him.
These homeless guys,
Like
shoving
the
people in front of
poorly
trains
drawn
last year to
South
25.
Park character that Tim
And so that
Pool
is
So that's a mental health problem. I mean, we do have a mental health problem in this country. We have an issue with not having socialized healthcare, where people are unable to access healthcare, mental health care in particular, but also every other kind of healthcare. I mean, 28 million uninsured people in this country. That's a massive problem. I mean,
Yes, it is a problem.
what is your stance on Medicare for all and healthcare?
I'm
being
for
socialized?
universal healthcare.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, I think we'd have to have some kind of like basic coverage for universal standard, meaning like if you're having an episode, this is particularly where we bring you in, we help you. If you're
Sure.
broken bones, flu, things that it's like relatively simple and knowledge based.
God,
the
it's
challenge
like
with
he
it is
starts to
that
think
we got limited
into
space,
this
limited
shit
doctors,
way
but,
too
you know, I don't
much.
think we can function
Like,
as a society if we
he's
have people
the
just dying in
person who
streets
should
like
be
we do,
deciding
drug
all of
abuse and,
this.
you know,
Well, then
people
you should
losing their minds.
promote housing first policies on your program.
Poorly drawn
like
South
in
Park
Houston, what they
character
did, there
Tim
was a
Pool
pilot
thinks he
program
should be the
under
one
Obama.
to
It was a HUD grant.
sit at the table and say
they
who's
reduced
going to get
homelessness
medical
by
care for free and who's
63%
not.
over 10 years.
He's gonna pick the
because
winners
they
and
guaranteed
losers.
housing.
What a
Do you think
fucking
that
Nazi
the
piece of
25
shit he
examples that you
is.
cite last year, and there's like over 2 million
He's a
subway
fucking
riders a
death
day,
panel.
So you cherry picking
Fucking
that, I feel
Tim
like,
Pool is a
everything.
death panel.
You mentioned that desperation leads to crime.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why it is specifically that we saw this increase. Is it like someone's desperate, but why murder somebody? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they're experiencing a mental health episode. We do not have adequate health care in this country, mental health care. I hear a lot of talk, often after mass shootings, that mental health is the most important thing in this country.
Jeff
Then we
Lund.
should have socialized health care so everyone
She's
can
a
have access
machine.
to it.
She's analyzing them
and that
while
would
schooling
that
them.
Yeah, I know.
there
I hate her,
a
but
housing
she's
first
good at what
policy
she does.
where cities don't become urban centers
I'm going after
for
some
just
cannabis. My
bridge and
choices
tunnelers who
are
want to come in
White
and
Tahoe.
see
The
a
enemy
show,
of my enemy,
restaurant
baby.
associations,
Platinum,
where
Kush, Platinum,
places where
Gushers,
people can
Cotton
actually
Candy,
live and there's
Gelato,
guaranteed
Motor
housing
Breath,
for
and
people.
ice cream cake.
If we were able to do that, we would
John
be able to drastically
Combs.
reduce the crime that you guys are talking
Tahoe
about.
So when you're
cookies,
talking about
Zilp.
poverty leading to
Haven't
crime,
heard of that
what
one.
is that based on?
Georgia
because
pie,
after prohibition was
platinum
All
repealed
human history.
during the Great Depression, crime
Breathe,
fell. During the Great Recession,
platinum
people with
gushers,
your line of
cotton
thinking
candy,
thought we would see
gelato,
a crime
that
spike
sounds
nationwide.
great.
It didn't happen. You could
Motor
actually
breath and
look
ice
at the
cream.
crime
I'd be
wave
really
if you
excited
wanna
about
look
that
up.
cotton
That
candy
didn't occur.
gelato.
And that was the
Healthcare in
largest
America.
Blue
recession
Sky
in the
cotton
history of
candy
this
is
country since the Great Depression. So what we've
amazing.
seen throughout American history is poverty not leading to crime. What we actually see is the opposite, that crime drives areas into poverty. We look at store closures across the country due to the fact that we have shoplifting. That leads to decaying in the neighborhoods. When people abandon the neighborhoods and you see this blight, that has a psychological impact on people, and that drives people to commit these crimes.
I mean, you're working backwards from the.
No, you're actually working
Wait,
backwards.
but no.
It's
Poverty
interesting.
clearly. This is a very simple.
That's an
concept.
interesting
Leads to something like
argument.
Shoplifting.
You
Why
know-
would someone shoplift based on the?
Either of them can say that they're working backwards. That is a fantastic fucking argument for them to make. You can say
Treasure
one
Coast
causes
Waters.
the other. The other
Georgia
one can
pie
say
I
no.
had.
That the one that you
Nice.
say causes the other. That's the result of what you're saying is the cause. And they could go on and on and on about that. That's really good tactic for both of them on that point. But these are the types of things that I choose not to debate. So this should be interesting.
They're shoplifting because
Treasure
they're
Coast
desperate.
Waters.
Not necessarily. Like, so
The
we have a lot of
West
lax
Coast is a war
shoplifting
zone.
laws in California, for example.
So they're
And what
doing it
they
just for
find is we
fun?
have a lot of organized retail theft because there's no consequences for it.
It's profit.
For
I mean, it's
instance,
not-
Their people are trying to make money,
Well, so-
and they're
so-
desperate. And we have untold levels of income inequality in this country.
Well, is
since
it income inequality or
since the late
poverty?
70s, 900%. That's the increase in CEO pay versus
Yeah.
12% for the working class in this country.
That's
you don't
very
think
bad.
that leads to levels of desperation?
so wait, is
If
income
liber-
inequality the cause or is poverty the cause? Because those are
Let's see if libertarian Tim Pool defends the CEOs of these corporations.
two different things.
I mean, they go hand in hand.
They really don't.
Yes, they do. Because all
Not
the
at
wealth
all.
is going towards the CEOs and to the billionaires in this country.
But it's not a
and
zero-sum
trickling
economy.
down.
But
I
what
don't
does
know.
it mean?
But also, if income inequality is the driver of crime, then how come we saw a giant crime decline after the mid-90s when income inequality was going up? In fact, we saw this happen all the way to 2019.
Can you repeat that?
We had a giant crime decline from around 1995,
God,
1996.
are we still talking about that? So listen, Tim Pool brought this guy on because he's a ringer. Obviously, he's a very good debater. Whether or not his points are proving anything isn't going to be what this guy does. This guy takes all the oxygen out of the room, and Tim Pool knows it, and that's why Tim Pool has him on right now. And you pay very close attention to what he says, because he's going to drill down on things that are pieces of straw, that are basically their right-wing talking points that he thinks he's got them all solved. He's going to blame, the Democrats for. And she's going to have an answer for everything he basically says, because these are all very played out arguments. It's just, this guy's obviously really good at it.
Wide from all the way to 2019, while income inequality was rising during that period of time.
Right.
So why would that occur if income inequality is driving crime?
I mean, I'm not exactly sure, you're the expert, but I do know that you were saying that there was an increase in crime in 2021 and 2022,
Well,
and it doesn't matter now
I don't know
that
if
it's
you can
going
see
back
this.
down to 2023 levels.
This is just New York
I can't
City.
see this. Yeah.
I just pulled up New York City.
Look at that. Right. Exactly.
So at the start of 1990, crime was at its highest, and it dropped rather massively
Yes.
into just before 2000, where it continued to decline. And then from 2019 into 2020, we see a huge increase. That's pre-pandemic. So there's a couple interesting things to point out there.
No, to be clear, that's not
Also, this
pre-pandemic. That's the year-over-year increase. So
Right.
it would be in the year 2020. To be clear, so 2019 would be
No,
the
no,
low
no, no.
number.
The increase, actually, the draw is before 2020, meaning that could be 2018 and 19.
Dude.
That's the point you're making.
No, it's I've seen these numbers.
Can you believe that these three people are choosing to argue this point like any of them are experts in this, number one, or number two, like any of them are going to be able to convince the other one of what they think they know?
This chart wrong, because in New York City,
Move on.
Do they have the raw number of homicides on the side? If you
But
track
this-
it, you have around.
yeah, this is just
because this is
murders.
just
It's
murders, right? There. You have about
cringe
300, and then
AF.
it jumps to like 469.
I mean, crime dropped everywhere throughout the country since lead gasoline was outlawed. There is
Oh, yeah.
a massive connection, lead paint, lead gasoline predominantly affecting poor and lower income people, which probably did contribute to some of the increase in volatility in that
Well,
kind of instance.
I completely agree. I read that report. It was fascinating that when we started taking lead out of the atmosphere, crime
Yeah.
started to drop. But that would also make the argument that it's not poverty driving crime.
Dude, what the fuck? I've never heard about that. I want to hear about that. Lead? Oh my god, what is that?
It was like chemical imbalance or something.
It's both.
It's
It's absolutely both.
Well, I think it would,
Real-
I think it would
real-
play a
real-
role. Like the lead would play a role because it was in gasoline, so it was in
Right,
the air.
air.
Yeah, so it's
And we
impacting
know
everyone.
it depresses brain function and things like that.
True.
Yeah.
But I think public policy has a huge impact as well, because again, we saw a dramatic crime. This crime wave started in the 1960s, right? And this is when we started embracing this idea that poverty was the root cause of crime, that this was more the realm of the social workers, all things that sound really familiar to today. And from 1960 all the way to 1979, the incarceration rate, even though in raw numbers it was rising, was dropping per capita. So we saw this crime increase, and what you would end up getting in 1979 for murder, on average, was something like 5 years. For rape, it was something like 3.4 years. And obviously, like, this created a problem because we just weren't prosecuting people. This is why we ended up going with a mass incarceration solution, which, by the way, did work. And all these other policies to get tough on crime.
Mass
These labs that you're
incarceration.
No, I
definitely
mean,
on.
mass incarceration, we incarcerate more people than any other country.
We have the highest rate of violent crime for any modern Western country.
I mean, I don't have that statistic in front of me, but we still, so how does that connect to the mass incarceration point? If it worked, then what does the violent crime rate have to do with it? You just want to warehouse more people?
No, I didn't say. When I say it worked, we started expanding the prison population seriously in the 1980s to the 1990s. If you go to the Brennan Center for Criminal Justice, which is a left-wing organization,
is.
they say post the year 2000, mass incarceration lost its effectiveness.
This was Joe Biden's law. So this was what incarcerated all these people, was Joe Biden's fucking law. And it was racist as fuck.
Most of the mass incarceration was pre the year 2000.
Crime
so
bill.
obviously it has some impact, and it ranges. Low estimates are about 6% on the crime rate, which is very low, but the high estimates are about 30%. And the reason it worked is because the philosophy behind mass incarceration is pretty simple. What you're trying to do is incapacitate criminals, because the same criminals are often reoffending. You brought up shoplifting earlier. You can actually pull up an article to find out that the same 300 people in New York City represent a third of the shoplifting arrests total for a single year.
Probably because
This
they're
is because they're
incredibly
repeat offenders.
impoverished and they need to find a way to actually sustain their livelihoods in this country.
That,
We
that's,
don't have
that's,
a-
that, but that's put a very good way.
Yeah.
That's phrased very well, to maintain their livelihoods.
Well,
So-
no, I mean, no, their life is a better way to maintain.
Sure, but like, I guess my point is, Some of them certainly are desperate, but we see videos of a guy like shoveling stuff into a garbage bag. That's not desperation.
But
It's
again,
profit.
this is what you do, Tim. You return to anecdotal examples
We're
when I'm
talking about
trying to
300 people.
talk about
We're talking about just the 300 people.
He is
I
very
am talking
Which is
anecdotal.
the anecdotal evidence.
what 300
He is
people?
He said the
Mr.
300 people are the ones committing
Anecdote.
the crime. I said, right,
Third
these-
of the shoplifting.
These
crimes in New York.
specific
Fool's the
individuals are
king
doing it
of
for
Okay,
the
so we should have a
anecdote.
system of mass incarceration because there are
I didn't say
300.
that.
Because I'm talking to you now. There are 300 repeat offenders.
No, we should incapacitate repeat offenders so they stop offending.
Got
So
it.
if
So
you're
this is all
arrested-
about the fact that
if
you're
you're
not in
arrested for
favor of bail reform, which is now currently being rolled back. We decided that we weren't going to require cash bail for nonviolent felonies and for misdemeanors, and you think that that's a good policy?
To not require cash bail?
Yeah.
No.
Dude,
I mean,
Emma
or that we're
Bigland
rolling it
is
back.
right
I think
there in
listen,
the
if
goddamn
you're concerned about people not
lion's
being able to
den,
get out of
bro.
jail because of their financial means, then I can understand reducing or even eliminating the cash bail system. Because I understand if you don't have a lot of money, even though you really only have to throw down 10% for bail in most cases, unless it's a like a set figure for the bond, then I get that argument. But what you need, and the state of New York desperately needs this, is some kind of threat assessment. Like you should be able to hold somebody if they present themselves as a danger or a repeat offender, regardless of bail, without bail, so that they don't continue to reoffend.
Okay, but do you know what happens when people are held in Rikers, for example, in a pre-detention center? How many deaths have happened there before they're even convicted of a crime?
Look, there again, that's an issue for how the jailing system works in New York City, and I am in favor of building out the jail capacity because
You're talking about cash bail, though. That is exactly the point that we're discussing here.
yeah.
Right. So you're in favor of people being held before they're
Mexi
convicted of
Williams.
a crime
Yes.
in Rikers.
Lost
If,
Even
they're-
though
if
there
they
are
show a
bad
propensity to reoffend, 100%.
What is a propensity to reoffend?
A history, like being arrested over and over again, prior convictions, yes.
So you think that they should be held in a prison that has been
It's a jail, but yes.
or jail, excuse me, a jail that has been proven to be one of the worst conditions in the country.
Well, it doesn't have to be specifically Rikers
Dozens
Island.
of deaths just this year, even if they haven't been convicted of a crime.
Convicted of
Convicted
a
of a
crime.
crime.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think
But that's very anti-constitutional and anti-democratic.
How is it anti-constitutional?
The Fourth Amendment. It violates the Fourth Amendment.
Protects you from illegal search and seizures.
Well, I mean, you are
think it's
the
the
right to a speedy
Fifth?
trial.
No longer
People are
than
held.
that.
I do
I'm sorry,
think-
Fifth Amendment. Yes.
I do think we should
I
have
agree.
reform
Yeah.
on the speedy trial side, but the idea that it's unconstitutional to hold somebody pre-trial is
Stephen Running.
ridiculous. Our law is based on
Police
English common law.
overcharge crimes.
Six. Yeah.
Six, yeah, they're-
We're all bad.
our law is based
Yeah.
on English common law, and the reason we have jails is that you would actually be held in a dungeon awaiting trial. So it's like built into the system. Bail is like a courtesy. It's actually a progressive reform in response to that, where you lay down some kind of capital in place of yourself.
How
so
much
the idea,
money do you want to spend on jails in New York City?
as much as it takes.
So just warehousing people before they're convicted of anything.
Well, again, it's not warehousing everybody, but if you have a propensity to reoffend, I think judges should be able to have judgment. It's kind of in the name, and assess these people and hold them.
So you just want to give it to the judgment of the judges, and it doesn't.
Yes, I would like the judges to have judgment. Yes.
Okay, but there should be guardrails in place to prevent judges from. I mean, judges are human beings; they can be unjust as well. I don't really put them
Well,
on
you
the
could
pedestal that you do.
obviously I'm not in favor of like a $1 million bond for somebody who's arrested for shoplifting, even if they're arrested 27 times. So yeah, you can have guardrails from the legislature, but they can't assess dangerousness right now in the state of New York.
They assess it in ways. The reason we put this law into place, which is now being rolled back, that were deemed inherently racist. They
How
deem
so?
that it was disproportionately black and brown people who are
Okay,
warehouse
but how's that
writers.
racist though?
Because at their discretion, it was implemented in a racist way. It's
But
the
if you
same
look
way
at the
that
crime
stop and frisk-
statistics, they're
well, there you go. So
disproportionately black and Hispanic.
this is what the reality is for you: is you believe that black and Hispanic people inherently are committing
When did I say
more
inherently?
crimes. I mean,
Mexi
If you pull up like
Williams.
NYPD crime data, for instance, since you brought up
Hashtag
stop and
Cheers
frisk,
got me
you
some
can look at the
fresh
shootings,
Gorilla
like
Glue.
these shooting suspects in any given year. And if you find me a year where 92% or greater is not black or Hispanic in terms of the shooting suspects, then I mean I would be shocked because I've looked at it for
the
the past
suspects.
20 years.
So
Yes,
that's the cop's
suspects.
discretion. So
No, it's you get a report,
Right.
and you get a description of the suspect, and they are 92% every single year or above black or Hispanic.
Can I tell you guys a very famous New York story? There was a black cop, and he went to Central Park and started giving out tickets to white couples having picnics and drinking wine. Then he said public alcohol consumption is a crime in the city, and he started giving these uppity yuppies tickets.
Right.
He got in serious trouble. The reason he did it was because the cops would go into the black neighborhoods and give people drinking 40s on their stoops tickets. And he said, how can these people at their own homes, on their own porches, get a ticket for drinking booze? Then when I go in Central Park and say, we're going to apply the same standard, I get in trouble for it. So New York's got serious problems. Even
Opie
Bloomberg
sued New York.
Like, that guy's awful. He made a bunch of, like, I'm not going to say
But
that.
the reason I just want to cut you off because you mentioned Bloomberg, and I want to respond to what you said. Under Bloomberg, 90% of the stop and frisks that were done were, by the way, they didn't find anything, but 90% targeted black and brown people. So you're taking.
So the
you're
highest
taking
number,
no,
by the
no,
way,
no,
is
no, no, no.
86%,
You're
not
taking-
90%,
You're
but
taking
go
the
ahead.
data. You're taking the data and using what the cops did, where they over-police in certain areas, and then pretending like there's an over-representation inherently, criminally, in those kinds of populations, and it's
Okay.
a racist argument.
So you're wrong in a bunch of different ways. So let me just like run through them. So first and foremost, the highest year was 86%, and that was a year with a dramatic increase in stops. And if you ask me if I'm in favor of just expanding stop and frisk, which is different from Giuliani's stop, question, and frisk, although you might not be interested in that specific difference, to the levels that Bloomberg did, I would say it's unnecessary. It aggravates people. It creates a whole bunch of problems. That being said, they're not over targeted because again, there is no year during the entire tenure of Bloomberg where the shooting suspects were any less than 92%. So what the NYPD does, because it's the most data-driven police force in the entire world, is they map crime through a system called CompStat. When there's a lot of shootings in a specific area, they send the police to those areas. The stops, questions, and frisks all relate to where the shootings are, and it just so happens to be those areas are Black or Hispanic.
Right,
And by the
but do
num-
you get accosted on the street by cops regularly in New York City?
It happened to me when I was younger, yes, but like not
Okay,
now.
but do you understand
But
how
to your point about hit
90%
rate,
how-
because you brought it up, hit rate was not the goal of stop, question, and frisk. So, like, this is one of the things where you're like, oh, well, this program didn't work because my standard that I look for arbitrarily shows that it was ineffective. That's like saying a plane doesn't work because it's not a good submarine.
No, it's
like,
not
that doesn't make
arbitrary.
any sense.
90% of the stop and frisk came up with nothing.
True, but the point was to deter the carrying of firearms.
Have you done
Well,
illegal
but-
drugs in your life?
Maybe.
I have. I could have been stopped and frisked, and I could have gone to prison, or I could have been held if I had a little bit less money in Rikers indefinitely until my trial came. Because a cop just decided, hey, I'm going to stop and frisk you, but they wouldn't do that to me because I'm a white woman.
All right, that's nice,
Well,
but
let me
anyway,
just-
it's about shootings,
No, but you-
and the point of the program,
No, it's
and
not
this is
about
stated
shootings.
quite literally to deter people from carrying illegal firearms.
It's absolutely not about
It
that.
100%
Wait,
is.
are you in favor of gun control?
Is this what
I'm
I'm
not,
trying to
Okay.
say? Hold on.
I'm a New
Okay, so
Yorker,
we've
so I'm
got
not like a
it.
big gun guy, but
Bravo, let me. This
We've
is my
got
point.
to target
where
guns,
I'm
and
gonna-
that's why
Yeah,
stop
you
and
definitely
frisk-
got
I'm
targeted
gonna
illegal
agree
guns
with
for
Emma,
sure.
but Emma's not gonna agree with me. The idea that the police can decide to arbitrarily stop people because they might be carrying a firearm violates the Second and Fourth Amendments.
Well, again-
Stop and frisk is completely unconstitutional. in my
That's
opinion.
why Fourth Amendment was in my mind. I was
Well,
thinking
again,
about stop and
it's
frisk.
you're supposed to stop, question, and frisk, and usually
no.
it's based on reasonable suspicion, and they're
That
supposed
what,
to
I'm bearing arms
they're
under the
supposed to
Constitution?
they're supposed to follow the Terry standard.
This idea that because a particular group of people may be carrying guns, we're gonna go start stopping a whole bunch of them. I'm like, the Constitution protects our right to keep and bear arms in the first place. So now you're violating, you're ignoring the Second Amendment and using that as and by ignoring it, now you're violating the Fourth Amendment. I mean, this is absolutely
Well,
nonsense.
this is why I'm actually critical of Bloomberg expansion of the program, because the way it used to work is that if you had a shooting suspect, you would have a description, you'd send cops to the area, and they would stop people with that description, ask them questions, and if there was reasonable suspicion, they would conduct a search. This is why under Giuliani, the maximum amount of stops in a year, and New York City of 8.5 million people, was 90,000 people, and under Bloomberg, it was something like 700,000, maybe 800,000 people. So he dramatically expanded the program to the point where I do think it was constitutionally violative.
So you are kind of to the right of Donald Trump on this, who has been releasing nonviolent offenders.
Yeah, oh no,
when he was
Donald Trump's
president.
First Step Act is absolutely terrible. It sets up a bunch of incentives.
Well, I mean,
that
you're further right than
lessen
I'd
the pro-
imagine a ton of
then
this
le-
audience is. I mean,
that's fine.
that's
like I'm not here
that's
to
extremist.
I'm not here to win over the audience. Well, I will win over the audience because I'm correct, but
No,
Our
yes.
audience is mostly moderates.
yeah,
Well,
but
I don't
Donald
know
Trump's
about that.
First Step Act had a lot of language about going soft on youthful offenders, and that's one of the reasons why a huge portion of the increase in homicide that we're seeing is among young men, and specifically among young black men in this country.
I want to bring your guys' attention to this chart because there's a lot that it shows. I know it's just murders,
Right.
but we're talking about, you mentioned something about the 60s. For some reason, in 1962 to 64, we start seeing, from 1962 onward, a ridiculous spike in the murder rate, offenses per 100,000 population. I don't know exactly why. We can see around 1990, it starts to decline rapidly. There's a couple interesting points there. This is U.S. murder rate, so New York
Who
City's broken open, so it's nothing to
cares,
do with it. This is the
man?
entirety of the country. This could be one of two things. We when the leaded gasoline, that was the 80s, right?
I believe so, yeah.
We were getting rid of
And
it.
the last truck, I think for trucks, it was the 90s.
But this also coincides with one of the, if not the largest economic expansion, or I should say that now because who knows how you define it with the pandemic and all that stuff. But we had a massive economic boom in the 90s. So this would interestingly correlate with the idea that as people started to get more things, like their lives started to improve, murder rates started to drop dramatically.
Yeah, and I would say that that was a temporary kind of sugar high based on neoliberal policies of Reagan and Clinton, where there was a lot of money that was released back into the public because of massive tax cuts. I mean, we can talk about confiscatory taxation if you'd like, and the top marginal tax rate.
Oh,
top marginal
God,
tax rate in 1961.
don't.
It's funny that you brought up that figure in 1960. It's 91% compared to 37%
So you're-
now. But
It
like
went down in the 60s, or-
Reagan cut a bunch of taxes during that time
Gotta
period, and
do
a lot of
bong
people
hits
got
to
an
make it
influx in
through
cash.
this
And
damn
then,
debate.
sorry.
Crime did drop.
Well, right, but that was temporary. That was
Right.
temporary, and then the income inequality kind of set in, and the rich got richer and the poor got poorer, and that's mostly what I'm interested in talking about on my program.
Let me show you guys something which will add some context to the current crime spike. So you see right here this drop off after looks like about 2007. There's a major drop off in murder, and then it spikes in 2014. The problem with a chart like this is that it doesn't account for technology. The reason the murder rate declined in 2007 was cell phones. So when cell phones became ubiquitous, the ability to call emergency services became instantaneous. So when people were victims of violent crime, you had emergency service notified immediately. And so this resulted in a drop in the murder rate, but not in a drop in violent crimes. Not a direct correlation, meaning crime had been going down, but the murder rate dropped more than violent crime in general because people weren't dying. They were being stabbed, they were being robbed, they were being shot, and they were living. That's not murder, so it wasn't counted as murder.
Well, we have it. There is a chart, by the way, that you can look at because that actually pairs recessions with this murder chart. And again, the correlation is not really there. And as far as New York, you say that it had nothing to do with broken windows policing. This is actually
that map specifically was the U.S.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not
I know,
broken
but that's
windows.
you said it had nothing to do with broken windows policing, but that assumes that there isn't a greater decrease
Johnny's
in crime in New
military
York than
service.
nationwide, which is
This
not the case.
conversation
There
is
was a greater
mind-numbing.
decrease in the
It's
city of New York.
mind-numbing in a
like Chicago had a
bad
decline
way.
too, but Chicago's homicide rate, which is
It's
almost
like
on
I
par
almost
with the
just
city of
wanna
New York,
kill.
is 6 times higher
It
per
makes me
capita
just
than the
wanna
city of New York.
kill.
And in terms of raw numbers, it's double, even though they're at a third of the population, which is the same thing that
I
I
could
just
do
said
both,
with
I
different
guess.
math.
We
So
could
New York
listen to this
became the
while I-
safest big city, and our crime rate actually declined. And in fact, Freakonomics actually attributes this to the legalization of abortion, which happened in the city of New York pre Roe versus Wade. It was one of the 6 states that had
Bring
it
up a
legal
little
electively.
kill.
So this is like a known thing that people have talked about and speculated on what the result is. Now, also for the environmental
Wait, can
point,
I just ask
that-
you a question about that?
Sure.
What does the connection to what does crime
that's what
have the connection?
Freakonomics says, that the legalization of abortion,
It's Josh G.
and they compare it to
Hashtag keep it open.
Ceausescu, whatever country he was the dictator of. They say that that correlates with crime because they say all these unwanted children end up being born and then they end up
Well,
committing
that
crime.
is certainly a claim. So that's how that works together then. You're saying that abortion should be illegal for that reason?
No. It would be legal abortion leads to less unwanted children being born. And again, you're
So are you
smiling,
in
but
favor of abortion?
I'm actually pro-choice, but not
Okay.
for this reason. But
Huh.
you're smiling. But the thing is,
He's
this is what was proposed in
pro-choice.
Freakonomics. I actually disagree
Man,
with
I
their
gotta
analysis. They
stop.
leave a lot.
Bro, it's interesting to hear people's politics across the board like this. You know, that's how I am too politically. I mean, I'm not, you can't tag me down to a party. You have your own personal beliefs. This guy just said he's pro-choice, man. He seemed like pretty much a right-winger, but then he says that. He's a pro-choice right-winger? You know? Piff out. We're gonna play some stuff. You guys like my singing? We're gonna play some stuff. No, we don't like your singing, bro. But we do like COD. Every time we run this video bound, because everybody likes COD. Everybody likes COD. Get one operator kill with drill charge. Get one operator kill with a throwing knife. Oh, come on. No. I'm not doing it. Get one operator headshot with an LMG. Well, that's probably going to happen. That's probably that's probably gonna happen right there. That's gonna happen right there. Should I play? I'm thinking no. I was thinking about shipment 24/7, but it's kind of shipments. Not all deathmatch, even though you get a lot of kills regardless of whatever the mod is. And you understand the mods. You can use those mods to your advantage to get more kills for sure. You know, people are grenading the spot where everybody's got to run to. It makes sense, but let's see what map we get here. What are we talking about? What are we looking at here? What are we seeing? What are we doing? Where are we going?
Better than Warzone sometimes.
Double XP today, guys. That means I could run another gun. There we go. Breenberg. We're going to the Breenberg, baby. Are you down with the Breenberg? Oh yeah. Let's get some. Let's get some kills.
Hoot and Hell. Morning Nick.
Right, mate.
Hey, Hoot, what's up, buddy?
Your six. We're taking the lead.
Up. I just start shooting wildly. That's because that's what I do sometimes to get warmed up. I just shoot wildly. Because I'm a wild shooter. I like to shoot. I shoot stuff. Everybody just calm the fuck down. Alright. Kill that guy, give me some points right there.
We've lost the
Somebody
lead.
kill that guy. Come on.
On your six.
No. Oh, my bad, because I saw that guy. Come on now. I gotta get familiar with the Breenberg Hotel. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. Oh shit, where's he at now?
Focus on line.
Come on now.
Taking the lead.
Nick Brown.
Oh.
Pew pew.
Pew pew. Flow.
The enemy's taking the lead.
Hey, Flow. Come on now. Holy shit, dude. Oh. God bless America. Goddamn kitchen.
Nick Brown. I'll join you if ya want.
Yeah, hell yeah. Of course, Nick. I'll follow you in here and let people see how awesome you are. Oh shit, Where's that skull at? Run right to it. Run. Run to the skull. My bad.
Care package deployed.
I'm just saying it would have been a headshot, but just saying I'm on that shit. I'm on it. See, I'm on that shit. See what I'm talking about? I'm hot right now, man.
I'm getting stitched.
That was behind me, dude. Thought so.
Friendly UAV online.
Oh shit! Where's he at? Fuck!
Switching mags.
My bad. Whoa. Yes! Come on now.
UAV in the area.
Come on now. Oh shit! Come on, baby! Ah, at least I got that guy. Ah, someone else got me. But that's cool. Okay, I got that dude.
High alert online.
Unreal. Oh, unreal. Oh, unreal. Unreal, they're everywhere, dude. Where are they? Oh shit. Ah, there's one. There's another one over there.
UAV online.
Fuck. Everybody just calm down. Everybody. He's right around the corner. He's right around the corner. Oh, everybody just calm down. Just calm
You're
down,
moving smooth
everybody.
through the maps now.
You're moving smooth? Yeah, dude. I've got a better mouse and keyboard setup, which helps immensely. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, come on now. Learning the maps helps too. You know, where you usually see people at. And being ready for people to come running out from places. You know? And they constantly give you new maps, which fucks you up. Holy
Who's in hell? Oh, absolutely.
Enemy UAV active. Our
See?
UAV is orbiting the area.
Orbiting the area. Orbiting the area. Here we go. Engaged now. Where? Where are they? Right over here. Oh, that's a friendly. Whoa, there he is. Damn, there he
Jeez,
is.
this is a sweaty lobby.
Dude, that dude was sitting there, man. Oh my God, bless America.
Hog. Can you minimize that?
Oh, God bless America. Can I minimize the YouTube? We should be listening to that.
Hostile UAV in the area.
I want to listen to it, but yeah, man, I can make it smaller for sure. We should be listening to that. No, we got sick of that, didn't we? We got sick of that, right?
UAV active. Enemy care package incoming.
I was like, we don't want to listen to that. God bless America. God bless America. God bless America, that darn kitchen. Oh, dude, how did I not see that guy right there? Son of a bitch. Good night, Irene. Oh, behind you, buddy. Psst.
Friendly UAV on
Unreal.
station.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. Alright, let us go in. Oh, shit. Dude, why didn't I see that creeping up behind me, dude? How did I not see that dude creeping up behind me? I should have seen that dude. You seem like a bad guy. Oh, there were two of you, though. I got one of you.
Covering your six.
Thought it was just one, but there were two.
We're getting hit hard. Enemy UAV.
Oh, shit. Hi, good night.
Check your keyboard.
Go to sleep.
It's
Sit down.
clicky, it
You're
sounds
silent.
like the bullets.
Yeah, the neighbors called. They said, shut it down, Palsy Walsy. That's what they said. 2 kills for every death. That's a good way to do it. Oh, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out of here. Thank you for watching my show. I hope you guys had fun. You take care, and you have a good night and a good evening. It was a very fun defeat. Bye, guys.
Hog. Your game audio sounds a lil reverby. Howled. You fixed that?
I don't
Hawk.
know.
Thank you for the stream.
You're welcome, guys.
It's Josh.